Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the president returns to the country's positive outcome of the president officials visit. The Senate inspects the printings of electoral maps at the prefecture. For the international scene, Joe Biden calls on Congress for gun reform. Welcome to our newsroom. This Monday, February 15, a sensitization workshop for parliamentarians on the promotion and protection of human rights took place following an initiative by the President of the National Assembly, Mohammed Ali Ahmed, with the participation of a large audience composed of elected representatives of the people and the parliamentary administration. For personalities from outside Parliament, the representative was able to count on the contributions of Mr. Shafi Bakari, Deputy Representative of the Regional Office of High Commissioner for Human Rights, Ms. Fatuma Florina Frey of the Geneva Office, the President of the Secretary General and the Secretary General of the CNDH, Saliban Omar Udin, and Jibril Hufane. For his part, the President of the National Assembly, Mohammed Ali Ahmed, in his introductory remarks went back over the ways and means that motivated the organizations of the event and stressed the importance of holding such a workshop for parliamentarians. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation said after the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, returned late yesterday evening after 3-day official visit. The President received all the honors of distinguished guests of the French Republic with the summit meetings with President Macron, an official ceremony for the disabled meeting with the senators and Francophonie, and a meeting with the main French employers organizations MEDEF. During this official visit, a series of agreements were signed to strengthen political, economic, social, and scientific cooperation and to reinforce the multifaceted relations between Djibouti and France. The President was accompanied by strong delegations and several representatives of the private sectors in Djibouti. The assessment of the President's visit to France is very positive. And for the second part of his speech, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, returned during this visit. Discussion is also focused on regional issues exchanged on Djibouti's role in reducing tensions in the Horn and decentralized cooperation between Djibouti and the PACA regions of France concerning the defense treaty. A declaration of intent to open the negotiations was signed by the two presidents. In the run-up to the presidential election scheduled from April 2021, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Farah Abdullahi Waliye, and his close collaborator went this morning to the Djibouti prefecture to see for themselves the progress of the printing of electoral card. The head of CENI and his team had a first discussions with the prefect Ousmane Bile Girre, who gave details on proceeding from the printings of the electoral card. The mission of CENI is it should be recalled is to supervise and control with impartiality the conduct of electoral operations before, during, and after presidential elections scheduled from April 2021. It should be noted in passing that CENI was established by a presidential decree of last December 13. In a statement made on national television, the president of the CENI, Farah Abdullahi Waliye, stressed that voters' cards delivered after and signing in the various districts of the capital, the interior region. The Minister of Energy participated in a special sessions held during the General Assembly of the International Solar Alliance. This assembly was organized by video conference, and in addition to the Minister, the Secretary General of the Ministry, as well as the Director of Energy, Guled Mohammed, and his team of engineers also took part in it. This special session saw the appointment of the new Director General and Secretary General of International Solar Alliance in the persons of Dr. Ajay Martyr India. After the Mauritian candidate withdraws his candidature, the Minister of Energy did not fail to congratulate the new DG and offer its has been the emblematic figures of ISA and its inception. The Minister of Energy comments the efforts and close ties established during his tenure. It was a privilege to receive Mr. Aprandas as a regional conference. The solar power plant in the villages during its construction. A German delegation led by the ambassador of Djibouti to Germany, His Excellency Adam Mohamed Dileita, will visit the National Food Analysis Laboratory. The purpose of this visit was to establish a working partnership and collaboration with the LANA laboratory. This collaboration follows the UCAF ISO accreditations of the LANA laboratory, which has now demonstrated its competence on and ability to produce accurate, reliable and valid test and analysis results. Delegation was very optimistic.
And frankly speaking, we were impressed because the standards we found here are really international. We have a very good feeling about the security of the testing and also about the results and the food. So we can use these tests also when we export into other countries, and that was very impressive. Also the future impact or the future plans you have is very encouraging for the country Djibouti. Yeah.
For his part, the ambassador of Djibouti to Germany, His Excellency Adan Mohamed Dileita, he said that behind every Djiboutian there is work being done to improve the living conditions of our fellow citizens. Within the framework of the distribution of access badges to the National Job Fair, a team from the Ministry of Labor is in charge of administration reform, led by the Executive Secretary in charge of administration reform, Mohamed Awale Dirir. The communication advisor, Mr. Mahmoud Abdullah Omar, went to the various withdrawal sites planned by the organizing committee of the National Job Fair. The steps and logistics put in place by the Ministries of Labor were scrupulously followed by the young job seekers. The withdrawal activities will continue until Tuesday at 1 p.m. Withdrawal activities are taking place in a certain manner at all distribution sites set up for this purpose in collaboration with the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training. These are schools made available by MENFOP, namely in the municipality of Pulaus Rastika, the CM of Charles Foucault, the CM of Palmeraie 2, and the CM of Stadium in the Balbala municipality, the Sharaf School, the School of Balbala 3, and the School of Balbala 7. The People's Palace hosted this morning's ceremony dedicated to the opening of the training workshop jointly organized by the Ministry of Social Affairs Solidarity, the State Secretariat for Decentralization. In addition to the Ministries of Social Affairs Solidarity, the opening of this workshop was jointly chaired by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Social Affairs Solidarity, Ifrah Ali Ahmed, and the Secretary General of the Secretary of State for Decentralization, Muhammad Isa Faraj. In addition to the General Secretaries, this workshop was attended by the President of the Regional Councils of the region, Obok region, the General Secretaries of the Regional Councils, and as well as all the operators, actors of the development approach designed by the community, consisting of 25 community leaders, trainers, and focal points. For her part, the Secretary General of the Secretary of State for Solidarity said the ultimate goal of the organization is of this training and capacity buildings for community facilitator recruit under the integrated cash transfer and human capital development project. This project financed is part of the vast national family solidarity program which aims to fight against extreme poverty. Improving national capacity and good governance in the collection and production of migration statistics, a workshop was held at the People's Palace. Good governance of migration requires quality and harmonized statistics to support evidence-based strategy and effective implementation and monitoring policies and interventions to support migrants, especially the most vulnerable. This workshop brought together all the agencies generating migration statistics around a common working platform. The National Institute of Statistics of Djibouti initiated the establishment of a technical working group on migration data with the co-chairmanship of the National Office for Assistance to Refugee and Disaster Victims. The formation of technical working group is a strategy to foster an whole-of-government approach to migration management. For his part, the general manager of the DZ said that the establishment of this technical working group on migration data will bring together the many entities producing and using migration data and provide the essential structure to agree at the national level on the concepts, methodology, and tools to be used for the compilations of migration statistics. After the Commune of Balbala, the new president of the National Councils of Civil Society, Mr. Mohammed Abdi Gedi, chaired yesterday at the Hassan Gouled Stadium a day of dialogue and consultation with the associative movement of the municipality of Balbala, Blaus. The objective of this important meeting, attended by representatives of all the network of associations and association of the municipality of Blaus, was to exchange and debate on the role of challenges that civil society must play in the process of economic, social, and cultural development of the country. The various speakers who took the floors affirmed the need to restructure and reinvigorate the associations so that they can fully play their role and take up the challenges aimed at advance a more prosperous society imbibed with its cardinal values, which are, among other, solidarity and social cohesion, as sine qua non conditions for harmonious development at all levels. As part of the rising power of the Djiboutian armed forces and the policy of rejuvenating its staff, the Djiboutian armed forces has carried out targeted recruitment of young men and women from the civilian population. The profile was specialists in all disciplines. This targeted recruitment went through several phases. Firstly, a call was made to the local populations, and in order to widely disseminate the applications, the newspaper and RTD in newspapers, social networks called up, and once the applications had been submitted, the physical and sporting event attesting to the young people's endurance were able to begin. There came the phase of medical examinations, which authenticate the candidate's state of health. There is no doubt that physically and mentally fit soldiers will make a greater and more effective contribution to the defense and development of his country. For greater transparency, the military high command, concerned about the scope of the mission, dedicate mission to monitor and ensure the successful completion of this recruitment. Today is the last phase, which consists of sending selected candidates to the various ADF training centers to train them in the noble trade of soldier. the Gazelles have left the national territory to fly to Morocco, where they have to play several friendly matches with the senior A and U20 national teams. The Gazelles were escorted to the Djibouti International Airport by the Secretary General of the Federation, Mr. Yusuf Ahmed. Our player had the honors to be wished a safe journey by the charge d'affaires of the Embassy of the Kingdom of Morocco, Mr. Barik Haddawi. The initiative of this friendly match with the Moroccan teams follows the excellent relationship between the President of the Djiboutian Federation, Mr. of Football, Mr. Suleiman Hassan Waberi, and the President of the Moroccan Football Federation, Fawzi Legjaya. The head of missions of this women's football delegation is Colonel Amina Mohammed, who is also the President of the Women's Football Committee. For the international scene, Joe Biden wants an outright ban on assault fires rifle magazines with more than 10 cartridges, systematic background check on gun buyers, and end to the immunity that gun manufacturers enjoy at every trial after shootings. In a statement issued on Sunday, the White House accused the manufacturer of the Nolan putting weapons of war on American streets and deplored the increase in gun violence, particularly in African-American neighborhoods. Joe Biden calls on Congress to pass common sense and more restrictive legislation now without waiting for the next mass shooting. We owe it to all those we mourn because of guns. The statement concluded, we will enact this and other laws that will save lives. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi immediately said, promising to bring about the progress that the people of Parkland and the American people demand and deserve. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.
Face au Covid-19, le ministère de la Santé recommande ces gestes simples pour se protéger et protéger les autres. Se laver très régulièrement les mains au savon, tousser ou éternuer dans son coude ou dans un mouchoir. Utiliser un mouchoir à usage unique et le jeter. Saluer sans se serrer la main. Éviter les embrassades. Tenez une distance d'au moins 1 mètre entre vous et les autres personnes.
Découvrez la nouvelle interface my.djiboutitelecom.dj. Avec notre nouvelle interface my.djiboutitelecom.dj, suivez les détails de vos consommations, l'historique de vos appels et de vos sessions Internet. Connectez-vous pour gérer votre ligne fixe et ADSL en toute simplicité.